All right. So it's recording now. Just give it like a minute and see if it works and isn't a bastard
I should probably talk then, just to, verify my end
of
of
things.
the Skype spectrum.
It would be wise.
Oh, did I tell you what's happening with my brick? The lovely brick that I purchased via Amazon.
No, you did not tell
Well,
me
you
what's up.
remember, you remember how I mentioned that it could burn up. Um, so it's only over video that my brick is like, I'm burning! I'm burning! Like if I do like regular internet, it's like, yeah, whatever, I'm warm. I'm good.
Yeah,
But like the minute I fucking try to run like VC chat or this through it, it just goes, oh! And I think it's obviously the energy output,
clearly.
a buddy of mine today, well, Jay, today was like, well, physics tells us that. And I'm like, he's like, he's like, you never took physics in high school? I was like, fuck no, I didn't take physics in high school. No. I was like, I barely made it through fucking algebra. No physics.
Funny.
Um, you did, right?
No,
Oh, see, Mark, so many reasons to love you.
I
So many
I
reasons.
barely made it through algebra.
Yay!
I had to take a statistics class, and it was awful. And I took it only because I wanted to take AP psychology,
Oh my God, you and I are so alike, but go on.
and you were not allowed to take AP psychology
Unless you took
unless you took
statistics.
statistics,
Right,
which is the most ludicrous and retarded concept ever.
right.
Because
Well, it's because all those fucking like, what are they called? The thingies that psychologists do. Not surveys,
I don't even
but
remember.
like surveys. You know what I'm
I
talking
know what
about.
you're talking about, but that was the
That's
thing.
why you have to take
That's
statistics,
the
which
thing,
is
though.
stupid. I agree.
All that stuff,
Studies.
all of that is
Hmm.
is relevant in statistics for. I mean, it's like basics. It's
Right.
minimal stuff. The statistics is this much information, and the amount of it that you need for psychology is this much information. It's actually smaller than that, but I can't put my hands together any smaller and have it make sense and be visible.
I
It's
was talking to I was talking to Jay, and I was like, so he's like, so you never took physics in high school? And I was like, no, but I did take AP Anatomy and Physiology, AP English, AP History, and AP something else. I don't even remember.
right.
And I was like, no, no, I didn't take physics. Sorry. I always feel dumb. Like, did you take chemistry?
I did, and I was awful at it.
See, I didn't even try chemistry
I had no
because
choice.
I was like, this involves math in some way, shape, or form. I know that. And so I'm just not going to take it. Can
And
I take something else?
if I could have gotten away with not taking that class, Nicole, believe me, I would have, but I was required.
Oh
I
my
had
God.
to.
No,
And
my
I
school,
almost did fail it. Do you know, there was one point in the class I struggled so much. My teacher was like, "You're an idiot." And I'm going, "I know."
not
I'm like, "I know.
this particular
I'm
area.
so terrible."
Areas, I'm a fucking genius.
There was one point in the class, I forget what we were studying, but I did all the homework and I flew through it brilliantly. I was like, I get this concept. This is amazing. It was the first time in chemistry I was like, no, I understand this. And I
Mhm.
was stoked because I thought, I've got this. And when I went to take that test, I went in for the first time ever in chemistry going, I am amazing. I know what I'm doing. I will do well on this test. And I failed it, and it reminded me that I know absolutely jack shit. I don't know how, because the principles I thought I understood, but clearly I did
You
not.
did not. No, I remember I was taking, was it algebra? It must have been algebra. And my friend Terry came over to my house because I, of course, like, because once you're bad at something, you like stop going, or at least I did. So like, fuck it, I'm not gonna go to algebra. I'm just gonna do other stuff. But this was actually in college, not even in high school, because you've got to take math all over again in college. So I'm in college and I'm taking, oh, it was liberal arts math. That's what it was.
Yeah, I've
Um,
I've heard of that
because
class.
we are liberal artists, and so we get to take liberal arts math. And I was in like the second half of liberal arts math or something, part two,
Yeah,
and I didn't go because I was like, I suck at math. And in college you can not go, and I remember my buddy Terry came over one night and fucking, like, I hadn't been in the class in, like, I don't know, it must have been 4 weeks at this point. Like, sporadically I would go. And she coached me through the final. Like literally, how like I do monologue coachings where it's like,
yeah.
or she monologue coached me through the final. So
Wow.
just like intense, 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 and through the concepts and stuff and everything. And I got a B on the fucking final, because Terry had worked with me and taught me. Terry, first of all, Terry's fucking, shout out to Terry Culbertson. Now her name's Terry Lee, but she's fucking brilliant. Like, she's a theater major, but she's also a mechanical engineer. I want to say mechanical engineer,
Oh,
which
impressive.
is her other major. And now she's getting her master's degree in engineering. So she's Mensa. So she's like a fucking genius. Um, and bossy as all hell, which she knows, but a genius. And so yeah, so she coached me, like, taught me in a way that because she knows me really well too,
Yeah, yeah,
taught me in a way that she knew that I would understand what the hell it was that she was saying,
yeah.
and, and I understood the concept well enough to go in and get a fucking B on the final.
I think I would have done better in most of my algebra and math classes in general if the teachers that I'd had through most of those classes were not complete assholes.
Shout
um,
out to my teachers. No, I'm kidding.
I had all of one teacher who was badass and was like, I understand that you don't get this, and I will work with you and do whatever it takes
Mhm.
to make sure that you understand this. If I have to explain this concept 10 different ways for it to finally click with you, then I will explain it 12 different ways just
That's
to
awesome.
make sure. I had one teacher out of the myriad of teachers who taught me math over the years who was that guy, and he was brilliant.
Yep.
It is because of him that I got at least enough understanding to get the college algebra class done so that I didn't have to take it in college, where it would have made me angry and frustrated even more so than it already had made me.
I had to
Um,
take college algebra in college, and then I had to take the two liberal arts maths instead of statistics, I think it was.
yeah,
So it was fun, let me tell you. I was like, woo!
I,
I've never taken chemistry to this day.
oh
I think I
God.
want to now, just to like say that I've taken it, because I get really like, chemistry is one of those things where like, um, it's kind of like, I don't know, the Bible or something. It's hard to explain what I mean, but like, you know how like if you're missing like a fundamental bit of information, you kind of feel dumb most of your life. You're just kind of like, yeah, I don't understand that. I know the general concepts that you speak of, but I've never been taught this. Um, so, like, I conceptually get like physics and stuff, but I'm like, nope, never
I
taken a class, don't understand chemistry. I mean, I understand the
the
push
best
shit together and stuff happens.
right.
Ironically, I'm now teaching the states of matter though, which is fun.
Um,
Well, wait, sorry, real quick,
okay,
I have to show you this. You're gonna love this. Okay, so I'm gonna teach you how states of matter react to temperature. Here we go.
okay,
All right, so Mark, I want you to take your hands and put them together like this,
okay.
and go like this very slowly. Okay? You are a solid. Okay? The
Okay.
solids are dense and they move very slowly.
Okay.
Okay? Now I'm going to add temperature and you will become a liquid. Kind of go like this, like you're at a disco or something. All right. Very awesome. You're a liquid because liquids expand and they move further and they move faster. Now
Okay.
go like this. Now you're a gas. Woo!
We're gonna give people motion sickness in this video.
No, but gases they expand even further and they move faster. And then if you like freaked out like you were having some kind of fit, you would be a plasma. Because now there's four states of matter apparently. Just like Pluto's not a planet anymore. I love how like shit like this just gets changed and people go, all right, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Pluto's
Oh, that
not a
makes sense.
planet. There's four states of matter. I'm good. I'm good with it.
Whatever.
Whatever. Fuck it. It's like newspeak almost to me, but that's clearly
That's
because I don't understand science.
well, it's because it is. It's science. It changes.
I know.
Um.
Um, but yeah, so because I do that where I work, which I'm not going to say where I work, but where I work, um, yeah. So that's like one of the things that we do. We do what is it? Oh, liquid nitrogen, and we do experiments with liquid nitrogen and shit, and
Oh,
then we
oh,
like,
cool.
oh, I didn't tell you this, dude.
Oh, you may
I,
have mentioned it. I don't know. I might have forgotten. But
I play with liquid nitrogen often. Oh yeah, it's fun. Um, and so in the liquid nitrogen thing, this is one of the things that we talk about because we talk about the states of matter and how they react to temperature. So like I've learned more chemistry at my job than I ever have in my actual life.
I am a firm believer in practical application education. I
Yeah,
I will learn more about a subject in the process of requiring the knowledge to accomplish a task or to explain something to someone than I will ever learn just because somebody said you need to learn this,
right.
because it doesn't, I have nothing to connect the information to. I have nothing to utilize it on, no way to apply it in any way that makes sense. So in essence, it becomes constructs and concepts that my brain just cannot take hold of. It's
Yeah.
all just out there. So it doesn't
Well,
go anywhere.
no, it's the same way for me. Like you can hand me a sheet of paper and I'm a good student, don't get me wrong. I can memorize shit and I've done very well in college and everything like that, but um you can hand me something like a pamphlet, not a pamphlet, like a book or whatever, and be like, read this,
Yeah,
and then go and talk about it. And I'll be like, I can kind of do that. But if you show me something, like if I watch somebody do a presentation, I can do it as soon as they're done. Like they've done
right.
it, and I go, I've seen you do it. Now I will do it.
It's
But if
it's
you handed
actually
me the same information written down, I'd be like,
right. It's one of the reasons why there are a couple of YouTube channels I'm a huge fan of
hmm,
because of the way that they talk about concepts in physics and math and science in a way that I can grasp because they show me and they give me ways to make it relevant. Like I watched a video recently on this guy takes a 40-pound weight on the end of a pole, spins it fast enough, and with one hand at the end of the pole can hold it out and as though it's weightless and raise it above his head.
holy shit.
Yeah, and the reason that that is possible is because the motion of the wheel spinning provides torque, and thus the weight of the wheel going down is no longer as much as the weight of the wheel spinning and moving, it doesn't so it doesn't fall, it doesn't drop, and it allows you to, even though it's incredibly heavy, hold it. Now the thing is that you have to, if you're going to hold it out and move it, it can only go in the direction the wheel is spinning because that's where the
Because
motion
that's
and
what the torque's doing. Right, right, right.
exactly. But it was really, really cool. And I was watching that, and there are all these physics concepts in there, all the stuff that I'm totally looking at and going, I get it, I understand. That if you had just showed me the math and explained to me the principles, I would probably never have got. It would
Right.
never have clicked for me. Um, And that's a lot of math and science in general, and it's why I have a huge frustration with the way that that's generally taught at people,
Hmm.
because I don't I don't know if it's really taught to
I
them. I think
love
it's
how
just
you
taught.
said taught at people, not taught to people. That's fucking brilliant.
I feel like that's a lot of what our education is. I don't think we're teaching to people. I think we're teaching at them.
At people, especially
Um,
with these poor kids and the computers. My 5-year-old child was just sitting in front of a computer doing a lesson, um, and can click and drag and point and open windows and close windows and do passwords and shit. And I'm like, you're 5. And now I understand why, because she's going to have to deal with this technology the rest of her life and, infinitely expanding
yeah,
even. So I get it, but it's like,
my
uh,
nephew knows how to work an iPad
yeah, it's just
with
mind blowing.
proficiency,
Yeah,
and he's like 3.
yeah. And so it's like, wow. But the repetition with which they did these lessons, I was like, dude, my daughter gets it. She got it 2 lessons ago. Because it's like Sam sees the hat, and she's got to like arrange the freaking, and I'm
Yeah,
just like, wow. But it's so I guess what I mean is it's computers even more so I feel in many ways teach at people, not to people, because there's no, yes, it's interactive and that there's a little cartoon and shit like that,
right.
but it's not a person.
There,
Um,
on the subject of that, one of the things that one of the discussions and the debates that's going on in the video game world,
mhm,
that I'm really really a fan of as a conversation, is this idea that education, that games, first off, are educational and can be. That's a huge issue.
mhm,
And second, that in order for a game to be educational, it means that it can't be profitable, which is just a ludicrous concept. Because
yeah,
there are plenty of games that are educational that can teach you things, that are profitable and can be, money makers. And so there's just that shift in perspective that I think needs to happen, because while certainly it's like films, there are always going to be the ones that are clearly just for entertainment purposes,
like Atlantic Rim.
like Atlantic Rim. um, there will always be those films, there will always be those games, but it doesn't mean that there cannot be those programs that are designed, to educate, but do so in a really interactive and engaging way that make you feel involved.
Mhm.
you know um and that's where I think a lot of the computer programs that people come up with is like, we will use this to teach our young people things. They're not really designed with the mindset of being engaging and useful. They're just like, oh, it has to teach them this principle, and so they get locked up in that, and then it becomes this thing that teaches at you instead of to you.
Right.
um you know
Well, plus there's no, you can't reason with a computer. You can't,
right. You
there's a lot that you get to a point where
You
you
can't
can't,
ask questions.
yeah, you can't ask it questions. You can play a little game,
Yeah,
uh, but
and
it's only,
when it comes to the point of explaining why things, because I mean that's going to be a big thing that kids need to understand, is not just how things work, but why they work.
right.
These words need to be arranged in this certain way in order to make sense. Well, that's great. The computer can get them to understand that, but if they don't understand the why, then I mean, then it becomes a little bit more difficult, and for them to kind of make feel like it makes much sense at all.
Yeah.
Because then they go, well, I know it's supposed to be this, but why is it this? And a computer can't tell you that.
Right, and the computer can't tell you. So, you get the less than bright child that's sitting there like mad at the computer. Um, um, yeah, Freya finished hers. She got her egg or whatever the hell it was at the end of the thing.
Yeah.
Um, but she got mad at the computer at one point. She was like, "I can't do this," and I'm like, "Yes, you can, baby. You can do this. You just did it." And she's like, "No, I can't. I'm mad at the computer." That's like, well, mommy understands that feeling. mommy is not at the computer when it loads slowly. So yes, but
but it happens. But yeah, that's I question very heavily the general idea that seems to be pervasive in education that um, that everything can just be across the board, that you can teach everything the same way to everybody and everybody will get it, because it just is, it's so insane to me. Uh,
right.
one of my first my pre-algebra classes, we had our teacher had one way of explaining all of the topics that made perfect sense to her,
Hmm.
and to a lot of other students it made sense. To me, it was gibberish, and it might as well have been another language. I
Right.
did not get it. And when I inevitably said, "I'm sorry, that didn't make sense to me. Can you explain it again?" Her response was to give me the exact same explanation,
Right.
which of
Yeah.
course I continued to not get. And if I didn't understand it the second time she said it, she got angry and frustrated that I couldn't understand it and didn't know how to. The concept that she might need to find another way of explaining it, I don't even think occurred to her.
Mhm.
Um, she just kind of locked up on, okay, well, if you don't understand it the one way it's supposed to be taught, then I don't know how to teach you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, when I first hit pre-algebra and they put numbers and letters together, I went, whoa, 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 whoa.
These things are
Letters
not.
go with letters, numbers go with what is this fucking X? What? I was like, you bring it, what? And then they were like, you just carry it, or not carry it over, but whatever the fuck, you balance it. And I was like, I don't want to fucking balance shit. I why can't numbers just be numbers? Really, I don't understand. And so that was not fun because I liked reading and I liked English and I liked words, but
Yeah,
then they added numbers and I went, I don't
we
understand this
all got.
concept at all. And so I was against it on general principle. And so I think that really didn't start me out well because I was just like, fuck this. This makes no sense.
My first, I think it was seventh grade.
Mhm.
I guess it was pre-algebra was what the class was. Our teacher believed that through extreme repetition, understanding would double.
Anybody understanding what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this man consistently every night would give us anywhere between 30 to 60 problems of homework, which I thought was insane.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
I'm going, I don't, I would take like 3 to 4 hours. It would be my night to do all of
Oh
this,
yeah. Oh no, me too. Me
which
too.
was ridiculous. I'm going,
And you were like, so, well, I'm not learning this any better. I'm just doing it more.
yeah, which was ridiculous. And I remember there was one week, and it was absolutely insane. And to me, he gave us 50 problems a night for the entire week except for Friday. And Thursday, when he gave us 50 problems, I was so angry. I said, if I swear tomorrow, if he gives us 50 problems again, I'm going to stand up and make a formal complaint about the amount of work this man is assigning us, because it is ridiculous. 50 problems a night for 5 days straight.
Yeah, that's
That
great.
is ridiculous. So Friday rolls around. I'm set and
You're
determined.
ready to stand.
I am ready to stand up and
Captain,
fight,
my captain, but in the opposite way.
but
Got
in
it.
the opposite way. Exactly. I am set to do this. I'm like, give us that 50 problems, because that's what I said. And he goes, okay, everybody, you're going to do problems 1 through 49. And I was
You
like,
are kidding me.
not kidding at all. This man goes from 1 through 49, and I said only if the. I mean, I should still stand up anyway on principle, but now you kind of like that was.
Did he know you were going to do this?
No, we had no
No.
idea, no
So
indication.
it was just the universe in general going, ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
Protest now, bitch.
pretty much. The only cool thing that's ever happened to me in the world of solving math problems was because again, in the Florida educational system they have the whole FCAT thing. Um,
Again.
they did the FCAT training, like things like when we'd have half days. If you went, they would always be like, "We're gonna use these half days as FCAT training days." So math class, they'd give us like worksheets that are like, the FCAT math sheets or whatever.
Mhm.
And the only cool thing that's ever happened to me in the world of math was one of the problems on one of those sheets was in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer to life, the universe, and everything is a certain number. Use this equation to find it out.
Ooh, 42! I don't
Exactly.
need the equation!
Exactly. I went, I don't need to do this problem because I already know that. Because I know the book you're talking about and I've read it and you.
Fuck you, FCAT. I already know the life truth. Or the answer to life universe. That's nice. Nice. I would forget about that. Unfortunately, once again, I have to go because it's now 12:29 and I have to get to work at 1 o'clock. And it takes about a half an hour to drive, roughly, a little less. But I don't want to be late simply
No.
because
So
I've
you
been
should go.
video blogging. I don't think that's a decent enough excuse. They'd be like, and I'd be like, I'm awesome. And he'd be like,
not for
oh,
this.
not for this, you're not. So I'm gonna go talk about horseshoe crabs and sharks and sciencey stuff.
Yay. Well, I have
It's ironic again that I was talking because it's fun. Well, okay, real quick, I got a minute. So at work, like, because my work is science, like it's mainly, um, and so inevitably people either think I'm an oceanographer or a marine biologist or something like that, and every fucking time I'm like, no, no, I'm an actor, and they go, and like their worldview goes, huh?
yep.
And they're like, and I'm like, I memorized all this, and I'm interested in it, so
I,
I
I
like to talk about it.
I told you about there was a guy at my work at one point where he said something about NASA and the space program and it being a big waste of money, and I spent like a 10-minute tirade about the economic benefits, the scientific benefits, how it helps our society as a whole, and all of this stuff. And at the end of it, he just goes, "What was your major again?" And I went, "Oh, I majored in theater." And he goes,
Mind
"I
blown.
know." So,
He's like,
all right.
yes, well, theater is a very helpful major, sir. With many, many things fall into the purview of
It's true.
acting, of designing costumes. I don't know why this is designing costumes. Oh, it's sewing.
It's
That's why.
all right. Well, you get going, and I'll put this up. It'll be this weekend, I guess. So, yay!
Yay, another video blog or vlog. I don't like that word though. That
Well,
sounds
you
like
came up with something. You came up with a term. Well, last time.
you did?
Yeah, yeah, you did. You decided what these were going to be called.
Oh crap.
I know.
Remember. Did I say video blog?
No, it wasn't video blog. That's the term I keep throwing around because it's what's in my head.
Well, it's an actual thing. My internet guru friend tells me that, oh yes, it's called a vlog. I'm
Oh,
like,
it is called a vlog. Yeah, no, that is what it's called. But I don't like that term either.
oh, a video podcast.
Oh, video podcast. A video. Was it a
I
video?
think a
Was it a
video
video cast? I think it was a video cast.
video cast, vidcast, we can call it. Ooh. But
So,
yeah, 'cause that's what I think of this more as a. Oh, speaking of next time, viewers, I want to talk about podcasts in general and how we've moved slowly, or not even slowly, inexorably towards the days of radio. Because like we're kind
yeah,
of going backwards in a way, if that makes sense. Because
yeah,
podcasts are huge, and radio shows back in the 50s were huge, and so I'm interested in that concept of retroness
yeah,
and how like retro has become cool again and yada 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 yada.
yeah.
All right,
All right, cool. Well,
bye.
I will talk to you later. Goodbye,
Okay,
Nicole, and
bye.
everyone watching this.
Bye. Every all.
Real.